He's coming, and Jamaica cannot stay silent. United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio is headed to Jamaica, and this visit, whether by design or destiny, is more than just another diplomatic handshake.
CARICOM leaders, including Prime Minister Stuart Young, met on Friday in an emergency virtual session to prepare for a visit by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to Jamaica.
For Jamaicans, it's a rare and powerful moment. A moment to speak up, a moment to be heard. Because behind the tropical charm, behind the scripted smiles and polite welcomes, there's growing frustration bubbling across the island. The issue? Tariffs, economic pressure, and Washington's heavy hand on policies that are starting to hit Jamaicans right where it hurts: our pockets, our people, and our peace of mind. This visit, therefore, is not business as usual.
We are certain that Jamaica, like any other small developing country, will experience shocks. With climate change and the growing local political, geopolitical uncertainties, we observe that shocks are becoming more frequent, more intense, simultaneous, and they overlap. So the one thing is certain: Jamaica is going to be hit by some shock. So Jamaica must therefore be prepared for shocks.
So it's not just about what's happening here at home, but about decisions made far away, in rooms where our voices don't reach. Decisions like sudden tariff hikes on goods we depend on, changes to trade agreements that threaten our small businesses, and yes, even pressure campaigns that tell us who we can or cannot work with, like the Cuban doctors and nurses we've relied on for decades. Rubio's arrival isn't just a photo op. It's a chance, maybe our only one, to speak directly to someone with influence in Washington, and Jamaica must not let this moment slip away. Let's talk about tariffs. These aren't just policy words tossed around by economists. These are real, painful roadblocks for everyday Jamaicans trying to earn a living. When the US hikes tariffs, it affects our entire trade network. Even if the tariffs aren't aimed at us directly, they hit the countries we trade with. That means higher prices, delayed shipments, and fewer opportunities for our manufacturers, exporters, and farmers. So, when Jamaicans say, "We feel it in our wee belly," it's not a metaphor. It's the truth. Rubio has built his political career on being a staunch voice for America's foreign policy interests, particularly in Latin America and the Caribbean. That makes him a key figure in shaping the very policies now affecting Jamaica. And this week, he'll walk our soil. He'll meet our leaders. And we have questions he needs to answer. Like, why should Jamaican manufacturers pay the price for global tariff wars? Why should our exporters struggle to find markets because of new US policies? You see, these aren't abstract matters. These are choices that determine whether a small factory in Clarendon can keep its doors open, whether a fisherman in St. Thomas can afford to send his daughter to school, and whether young entrepreneurs in Kingston get a chance to dream, or are forced to migrate because opportunity has been choked off. Now here's something they don't want us talking about, but we must. The US is also putting pressure on Caribbean countries to cut ties with Cuba's international medical program. The claim that these Cuban doctors and nurses are victims of forced labor. But here's the reality. They are often the only healthcare providers in rural Jamaican clinics. Jamaica has stood firm so far, rejecting the US characterization. But we know the pressure is still there. Quiet, persistent, growing. That's why Rubio's visit matters. Because finally, we can speak face to face. We can say what letters and statements cannot. We need a conversation, not commands. And here's the kicker. This moment is bigger than tariffs and medical diplomacy. It's about Jamaica's right to make decisions that are best for Jamaicans. The last time we stayed silent, we paid dearly. History has taught us something harsh. When we don't speak up, others speak for us. And when powerful nations make choices about our future without our voice at the table, we're left cleaning up the mess. In the 1990s, structural adjustment programs pushed by international partners gutted vital public services in Jamaica. The result? A generation of setbacks we're still climbing out of today. We can't afford to repeat that mistake. This time, when Marco Rubio sits down with our Prime Minister, we must speak plainly. Tell him, we will not accept policies that hurt our people. We will not bow to pressure that ignores our reality. We will not allow external powers to decide what's best for our hospitals, our trade, or our sovereignty. This is Jamaica's moment. We're not asking for favors. We're asking for fairness, respect, a true partnership, one where our concerns carry weight, not just our natural beauty or our votes in the UN. So, here's what we must demand. 1. A clear commitment on trade equity. We need assurance that US tariff policies will not block Jamaica's access to regional and international markets. Our economy is too small to absorb global shocks alone. 2. Respect for healthcare partnerships. Jamaica has the sovereign right to choose who helps care for its people. If we decide Cuban doctors are valuable, then that decision must be respected. We don't interfere in US hiring policies. We expect the same courtesy. 3rd, economic inclusion in US Caribbean strategies. Too often, development initiatives leave Jamaica behind or treat us as afterthoughts. We want real investment, real collaboration, and real benefits for our youth, our workers, and our communities. 4th, a regional dialogue on future partnerships. Rubio's visit should not be the end. It should be the beginning of ongoing dialogue with Caribbean nations on shared concerns and sustainable development. This is not just another meeting with a US top government official. This is not just another visit. This is Jamaica's time to step into the room, not with deference, but with dignity. When Marco Rubio lands, he must know we have questions, we have expectations, and we have a voice that will no longer be quiet. Because Jamaica is not a backyard. We are not a satellite. We are a sovereign nation, and we are ready to speak the truth, firmly, respectfully, and fearlessly. If you believe Jamaica should speak up, share this video now. Let our voices rise. Let Marco Rubio hear us before he even steps off the plane. And don't forget to subscribe to Impacting Jamaica for more bold, truthful conversations like this one.